Hey, it's Brandon Sobotka, and this is Noble Nonconformity TV. Welcome and thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate you. And as you already know, I'm here to help you position your ambition and build a balanced brand for the modern marketplace. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go over 5 strategies for consultants or coaches, speakers, trainers, or any other similar business model looking to build a brand that gets noticed online or offline. It doesn't matter. These work. All right, now you're probably wondering what these 5 tactics are, these 5 strategies are that I'm talking about. Well, these are 5 of the same brand building strategies that I not only teach and train my top clients, but these are the same strategies that we've identified from recent research, consumer behavior, marketing trends, and studying some of the elite experts in the game right now. What I'm basically saying is that these are not gimmicky tactics, old or extinct business models, or sleazy sales tricks. These are the modern methods for building a strong, standout brand right now. All right. Now, if you're anything like the majority of consultants, coaches, and trainers out there trying to be seen, heard, and paid, you're probably struggling with any number of things. And you've been putting in work for a while, maybe even years. If you're anything like my clients, it's years. And even I, way back in the day, put in years. Hell, I'm still putting in years if you want to count them. You've invested. So basically what I'm saying is you have invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money into your journey, and you're still frustrated, right? You're not getting the visibility or the reach that you need to grow and become the authority expert in your space. And so what is the impact of this? Well, the impact is not good. If you're not visible, you're not a viable option, right? You're not relevant, you're not recognized, your reputation is little known, or even worse, you're unknown. And when you have none of these, you have what? Volatile or little to no revenue coming in. If you're struggling to reach the masses, don't worry, I got your back. So let's take a look at the 5 brand building strategies I was talking about in the beginning that help you build the visibility and reputation you need to cash in ASAP. Let's dive in here and look at some of these these 5 key brand building strategies. They're in no particular order. However, these are strategies that are really working right now. And to be honest with you, some of these strategies have withstood the test of time. They've been around for a while. Maybe they've morphed or changed a little bit in how they're presented or distributed. But for the most part, these are the strategies that work, right? A lot of times we get these hot trends that come around and we jump on the bandwagon, and really they're not sustainable, or maybe they're effective for a little bit because they're hot in the moment, but as soon as everyone figures them out, it doesn't work anymore. So these are 5 that are working right now. And in my opinion, the principles behind them will last for a very long time. So number 1 is what I call personal. And personal, you may be able to guess this, but customers don't connect with businesses. Customers connect with people, or they connect with at least the human side of business. And what I mean by that is, the underlying psychology behind colors, behind words, behind imagery, behind stories, right? So people connect to those, personas or characteristics that the energy that is coming from a brand or a business. So, and although you may have a very successful business right now, and you've been putting in the work, personal branding can help your business become even stronger. It's a very strong strategy right now. It's a big differentiator in many cases if you can create recognized experts from within your organization and pull them out into the marketplace to share their expertise, to educate, to empower people with making decisions that are aligned with the products and services that you sell. So personal is the first strategy. Second strategy is what I call pull. Pull means, brands, the growing brands, the successful brands right now are making a concerted effort to create things that pull customers in rather than the old methods of push my stuff, push our products out there, push them, pushy sales. You heard that a lot back in the day. We're kind of getting away from that because the customers a lot of times are in control, and the consumer has a lot more decision, has a lot more leverage now than they do then. So you have to create things to pull people in. And there's 5 keys to creating this type of pull. If you want to go to my blog, go to my website, I have a blog on it. And what I mean by pull is really, it's very similar to kind of the personal thing I was saying, where there's, you're creating a connection, an underlying emotional connection or some type of connection with the audience that is pulling them in, right? It's what you're doing is compelling. It's creating a wow so that they remember you, right? And they want to be a part of this because it's deeper, it's different, it's better, whatever that is, you're standing out in some form or fashion. So number 1 is personal. This one is pull. Number 2, 2 great strategies to work on building your brand. Next is publicity. What I'm talking about here in my definition is public speaking, podcasts, publications, right? Public speaking has always been a great strategy. You get seen as a thought leader, an expert in your field. Same thing with if you were running a podcast, you're kind of seen as a leader in the industry, or getting interviewed on other people's podcasts in which you are getting asked about your expertise and you're sharing that and you're educating people in that way. Publications, industry publications are the major overarching publications. If you're in business, what I'm talking about are things like Entrepreneur, Forbes, Inc., Business Insider, these major publications that run the gamut of business, but your category is probably sitting in underneath within one of their verticals underneath the big umbrella. So all of these can help you not only reach the masses, but they help build massive recognition. Like I said, you're being seen as a leader in the industry, an expert, sharing it, on these huge platforms. And not only that, but a lot of times these platforms are much more targeted towards an audience rather than social media. They're targeted towards an audience more in line with the things that you are teaching, sharing, selling. And they are people who are actively seeking the answers that you are sharing. So very, very important for building your brand is doing that, is getting in front of the right people. Next is partners. Partnerships have always been, they're still, in the more public pub you get, so that publicity that I was just talking about, the more pub you get, the more partners want to work with you in some form or fashion, right? The more partnership opportunities you receive. And that doesn't mean that if you can't find partners or you don't have partners right now, that you're not going to be successful without it. But this is a very strong strategy, or vice versa. Maybe you don't need pub, you don't need all these other things. You could start with partnerships in many ways, and it's a great strategy. So it's what I'm saying is basically partnerships or finding good partners is a great strategy, period. There are 3 things that I focus on when I focus on partnerships. And I think about these things as I'm looking for partners. I'm looking to build ecosystems, right? What I call ecosystems as the services that you don't provide, but that your audience or your customers are still seeking and wanting, building partnerships with those individual providers will help build this ecosystem where they're referring to you and you're referring to them. Second is influencers. If you can connect with people who have a bigger reach and more recognition than you do right now, then they're only going to help build your brand even more, right? So simple to understand. That's what's called influencer marketing. We hear that a lot these days. It's very big. Next is ambassadors or brand ambassadors. And in this case, I'm talking about people from your audience, maybe former customers or clients who just are the raving fans, right? They're out there talking you up all the time. And if you can find those and support them in their expression of how valuable your brand is, then that is only going to help you build your brand faster. It's going to help you reach an audience or multiple audiences that you haven't already reached. Individuals or businesses or just anybody who you typically might not be able to reach because of it. Next is, and last but not least, is purpose. And I know this sounds cliche. We hear it all the time. However, I think all of us want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, no matter what, right? And so that's why purpose is so important. And even more important these days is that the younger consumers, such as the millennials and the Gen Z, believe that this is a must before they buy. And in a lot of cases, you must stand for something. You must know your why in order for them to jump on the bandwagon, if you will. So those are the 5: personal, pull, publicity, partners, and purpose. So if you're tired of being overlooked, and I'm sure we've all been there at some point in time, or you feel completely ignored in some form or fashion. Sometimes, when we put content out there, we feel that way, although I'm sure people are probably seeing it in some form or fashion. I recommend adding these to your brand building plan in order to scale your visibility, your reach, your sales volume, your recognition, and in the process, continue to build that reputation that generates more leads, lands great clients, books killer gigs, and what a lot of us wish is you are able to command higher fees. How good does that sound, right? It sounds pretty dang good, doesn't it? As influential as these strategies are, or can be, I'd hate for you not to be properly equipped on your brand building journey. And so here's my caveat. No strategy is foolproof. It's very important to understand that these brand building strategies are winners when you're properly equipped for success. What I mean is, more specifically, is the success of these strategies will be based on the work you put in up front. Here's what I mean. What you're looking at here is the Noble Nonconformity Code, a proven framework I use to help consultants, coaches, speakers, and trainers in any similar business model simply scale brands without sacrificing profits or wasting 3 to 5 years trying to piece it all together. So as I was talking about being properly equipped, all of these things that we talked about today are up here towards the top of this model. In phase 2 and phase 3 of building your brand. Well, if you don't do this upfront work down here in early in phase 1 and in the early steps of phase 2, then you're probably going to be close to down here. What I mean is this chaotic, competing for clients commodity brand, right? You might, in some form or fashion, you're probably feeling confused, unclear, frustrated, overwhelmed, maybe even burnout in some form or fashion if you are not doing this upfront work. Another way to recognize if you're not getting that upfront work done is if you're struggling doing any of those brand building strategies that we talked about today, or if you've been doing them and they're not working for some reason, odds are is that something's missing from the early parts of this model, right? And we've proven that time in and time out. If you're when we work with our clients. So if you want to have visibility, authority, and a reputation that precedes you, all of which helps you grow faster than the competition, then you want to check out the link below. The link below, depending upon when you're watching this, will direct you to a free training that'll walk you through these steps. And really, it's going to walk you through the steps you should be doing right now to get more clients and increase your monthly revenue and scale your brand using this system. And when I say scale, we're going to take you to this point of what we call the boundless brand. A radically recognized, revenue-producing, profitable brand is what we call the boundless brand. If this is not available right now, and the opportunity isn't open, and the program is shut down for right now, because we cycle through it here and there, just depending upon how busy we are and what we have going on, you will be taken to brandonsobotka.com, and we'd love for you to join the Noble Nonconformity Code community. You join there, and you will be part of our subscriber community, in which you will be notified when the Noble Nonconformity opens again. When you're in that community, you're also just going to be learning a lot of these things about how to continue to build and hone and streamline your brand so that you can, like we talked about from the beginning, position your ambition and build that boundless brand for today's marketplace. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below or message me at brandon@brandonsobotka.com, or you can just go to brandonsobotka.com and share your message on the contact page. If you want it to be a little bit more formal, totally up to you. If you're going to use these brand building strategies, we'd love to hear all about them. Message us, leave comments below about the success you've had, the struggles you had. We're happy to help you. I'm happy to help you. I'll reach out and support you in any way I can. But I hope that's helpful. Take it, learn it, grow with it, and let's build that boundless brand. Until next time, I'm out. This is Noble Nonconformity TV and Brandon Sobotka. Deuces.